Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Sai TV and welcome to the Best of the Rest show. We are back in the building. Lewis, what are you telling me? Everything all good, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good. In spite of the late equalizer against you guys on Saturday, kind of got past it. Kind of lucky to even get a draw, if we're being really honest about it. But yeah, we got a game in 45. Looking forward to it. Maybe we turn things round. Not entirely optimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic. But big up, my guy. Bremsy, big up yourself as well, bro.
My G, bless up to yourself, bro. And Saeed.
Come on, my light Prem's in the building. You get me? No 3-point collectors this weekend, but
Still top of the tree, son. Still top of the tree.
You hold on to day life, yeah? You holding on
I'm
to day life.
I'm holding while I can, fam. I'm holding while I can.
Yeah, man. And people asking Patrick, yo, listen, Patrick had to pull out last minute. Premsy thinks his other ideas, but listen.
Patrick done the dash, you get me? Every time Tottenham lose, we can't see Patrick on here, you get me? We can't see him.
No,
big up to everybody in the chat, man.
Yeah, big up to everybody in the chat, man. Big up to everybody. Make sure you like the video straight away when you enter the building. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Mandems. The link is in the description for all their channels. But I wanted to start on the best centre-backs in the league debate. And I'm putting myself forward for Martinez being up there right now this season as one of the best performing centre-backs. And for me, yes, the game against Brentford, people are going to look at and think, yo, conceded 4 goals. But I don't necessarily believe it was his fault. I think Maguire tax was heavy on that day. And then the Man City one is Man City. And on their day, they could destroy any team. And collectively, we were bad. But let's have this debate. Who's the best centre-back in the league?
Thiago Silva, my guy. The argument starts and ends at the top of the tree. Yeah, it's Thiago Silva, man. Longevity, ability, reading of the game, even surrounded by a very leaky defense, I think he's still been able to be one of our best players game in and game out. His quality always shows. So for me, especially 38 years old, going on 39, and he's still even in these debates, has to be Thiago Silva for me.
Premsy, you know what I mean? Saliva, after 3 years, is back, is showing his worth.
Are we talking just on form, or are we talking about overall? Because if we're talking overall, you can't look past Van Dijk.
No.
I know Liverpool have had a bit of a...
I reckon this season as well, we need to put in consideration this season. And that's why I've put in Lisandro Martinez. And a lot of people are sleeping on Lisandro Martinez, and they're just thinking about his height. And there was all this kind of, can he hack it in the Premier League? But I look at what he gives us, and I don't... Apart from Saliba, I don't see a better performing centre-back in the league. I really, really don't. And Thiago Silva's got massive respect, don't get me wrong. Probably one of the best centre-backs of all time. He has to be up there in the top 10, top 15, whatever you want to call it. But do you not think, Premsy, that we have to give a bit of respect to Martinez in terms of where he's coming to this Premier League? Have you not been impressed by him?
Do you know what, bro? I'm not going to sit here and lie. I have, because I wanted Arsenal to get him when we was linked with him. You get me? Obviously, he chose United because of Eric Ten Hag, which you're going to do in it. Look at Jesus and Zinchenko. We only got them because Arteta's in place at Arsenal. So you got to give him credit, because there was a lot of people saying about his heights and this, that and the other. But it's still very early yet, you get me? Look at Romero, went to Tottenham, looked like fucking a bad man. Now, he ain't really looking that great, you get me, fam? So with Martinez, you got to give him a little bit of time, just like William Saliba as well. It's still early in the campaign. However, you got to give credit to Martinez. You got to give credit to United, first of all, because I've been very impressed with you over the last couple of games, bro. And I'm not going to throw no shade on you today, fam. I'm not going to throw no shade on you today.
Of course not.
Nah, he's all right, man. Very aggressive. Yeah. I like it.
This is mad, you know, for a player that everyone was talking about his height. Most aerial duels won in the Premier League. You got Koulibaly in second, William Saliba in third, Joe Gomez fourth, Ruben Diaz in 36%. You know what I'm saying? Like, were you impressed by him on Saturday, Lewis? The aggression and the way he kind of like didn't give your like attackers any space or any, you know, Aubameyang got hooked off.
Yeah, like Martinez looked good. The whole United team looked good, in all honesty, but I didn't think we were great going forward. Like, it goes both ways. Martinez had a good performance, but I don't think we really tested him like that. I thought Sterling was poor. Aubameyang was isolated. Mount was too deep. He couldn't really impact anything. Like, I don't think that would have been the right game to like really assess him.
Someone saying Koulibaly has been average centre back this season. You know what I mean? You guys bought him for. You don't agree with it?
No, I think Koulibaly's only issue is that he starts games slowly. First 10, 15 minutes, he's always a bit shaky. But after that, I think he's solid. The only bad game he's had for us was Leeds when we lost 3-0. Other than that, I think he's been pretty good for us, to be honest. And
you're just looking like another Kurt Zuma.
Kurt Zuma, bro. Have some respect for my guy.
Yo, I got 2 cats, fam. I got no respect for him talking about.
Fair enough.
Oh my god, man said it's got 2 cats, you know. I think
Sven Botman does deserve a shout.
Yeah, I seen them, man. The amount of fur they left on me, I definitely seen them, mate. You know,
big shout that Saeed. Big shout what you're just saying. Then 100%, man. I agree with you.
Yes, Sven Botman's. You know what? He's been very, very underrated this season. Him and their whole defense have been very good. Dan Burn, yeah. Dan Burn has been a solid shout for so far, like best performing centre back this season. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for me, the reason why I kind of talked about it is because I feel like Lisandro Martinez this season, for what he's brought into this team, the aggression, and also the way he's almost like a modern day centre back in terms of the way he can play that ball in between the lines. He's almost like a midfielder. And this is what you want now. Not many teams now are going to go and buy an out-and-out defender. They're going to look for other things in their game. And Saliba's one of them as well, isn't it? Like, his game is immense.
William Saliba, bro, what he's brought into our team is unbelievable, bro. There's a lot of emphasis on Jesus and Zinchenko and players like that. But Saliba is a centre-back that we've been crying out for a very long time at Arsenal. Somebody with good stature, tall, good in the air, good with the ball at his feet, and also very calm as well. Very opposite to Gabriel, which is, we all know, is a little bit rash at times. But Saliba, look at him, it's not just down to him, but we're sitting at the top of the table, you get me? So clearly we're doing something right. And I think he's a big part of it to play as well. Like I said, the Arsenal fans love him. He's already got his own song. And we just got to take a little bit of time with him and see how it fluctuates and see what his game ends up like. But right now, it's very, very promising. If you was to compare Saliba to Martinez, in my personal opinion, I would say Saliba just edges it. And that's just the truth. But Martinez, you touched on him saying that he could come into midfield or whatnot. If people have watched him before, he could play as a centre defensive midfielder as well. So that has actually helped his game as well. But William Saliba, man, there's not really much bad you can say about this kid. The guy's a very young guy. He won French Player of the Year last year. Every time he's been out on loan in France, he's been in the Team of the Year. And now he's bringing that quality into the Premier League, and we're starting to see it. So long may it continue, man.
You know, I've been impressed by Saliba. I can't lie to you. I didn't expect the impact that he would have. Don't get me wrong, he was a beast for Marseille last season, but I didn't expect the impact he was going to have. Did you expect it, Lewis, the impact that Saliba would have in this team and in Arsenal, just in general? Did you expect it?
Not to this level, because I haven't really watched Saliba enough to expect that sort of big jump. But I expected Arsenal to get better with him in the squad, especially just off the way Arsenal fans were talking about him. Like, most of the fan base was fuming that he spent another year on loan. Where was he sent? Etienne?
Well, he went to Marseille, Nice, Saint Etienne. He's been quite a few places. He went 3 loans.
And you guys were fuming that he was there for another year. So I expected, like, if there's this much hype behind William Saliba, I'm expecting a decent jump. But I won't say I expected this much. He's been unbelievable this season. Have to give the credit.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I feel like for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it does go like the idea of the defenders now, I feel like they do get underappreciated, because you got to remember, every attack now starts from the defense when you look at it and what teams are trying to do, play out from the back. So I feel like for me, with Martinez, it's such an important player for our team now. And I think fans are starting to realize it. This tempo starts from him, the aggression, the like I said, the line breaking passes, everything starts from him. And that's why, you know what I mean, teams are now investing a lot of money into defenders. You've got to, because
it's going to be quite interesting though, Saeed. Is Varane is he injured? Like, is he
He's
not
out for about 3 or 4 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see how
he fares up now without a Varane next to him. You know, Lindelof and Maguire come in, and then you might not see such a great Martinez. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to have to
Lindelof or Maguire.
I think Lindelof though the only situation with Lindelof, he doesn't make the amount of mistakes that Maguire does in terms of so obvious and unforced errors. I don't think he does that. Maguire is just he's a walking casualty, man. That's the thing with Maguire. Every single place or every single time he's doing something, there's a mistake in him. So I feel like Maguire tax is hefty, man. It's massive, and I feel like that was what a lot of people looked at Martinez start of the season. Now we've had Varane. Okay, it's been a different situation, and they've been looking solid. But even with Lindelof when he was with Martinez, I think against Everton they absolutely done well. I think there was a couple of games where they were looking solid. So I think for me, you know what I mean, I think he has to be put up there in terms of mention. That's why Chelsea are buying so many centre backs, because it's so important, isn't it? When you think about it, like you're gonna go buy that. Was that Guardiol from Leipzig?
Yeah, we were meant to get him for 90 million and then send him back for the season. But that was
That's
when
a steal, that.
I don't know if
for that. That's a steal, man.
No, we haven't got him. But we were going to. It was just too late in the window. But we might still go back in for him. I feel like a lot more clubs will do as well. Like, he's been really good in the time that he spent at Leipzig. And all the small little errors of his game are stuff that can be easily coached out. But I don't know if we will get him next year, especially with Thiago Silva potentially looking like he's going to re-sign, because I thought him signing in the summer just meant Silva was definitely leaving. Now I ain't sure, because I can't lie, Silva plays like this, you could probably get one more year out of him, and we've been saying that year in and year out, but he just don't get bad. Every game he plays, he's just consistent.
Yeah, Fofana as well. That was the one I was thinking everyone was a bit excited for, but he's been out injured, man. Are you worried about his injury record? I know it's one of them where you've got to just deal with it, I suppose. But what are you worried about his injury record? Because he's getting injured quite a lot.
Injury prone though, because like all he had was that big leg break. Other than that, I saw his injury history when we were linked with him, and it's not that bad. Like, I think this injury was unlucky and everything, and when he's played, he still looked like a quality signing for us. Does he look like a 75 million signing? No, but we only paid that because he signed a 5-year deal in March. Like, Leicester are going to ask for premium, and it is what it is. We bought.
Did you say 19 mil or 90 mil?
90, man. Man said, yeah, 90? I said the same, man. I was thinking
90.
90 million euros.
90 million euros. Oh, right. No, that's not a steal for 90. I thought you said 19. That's
75 mil, 90 million euros. What is it with Chelsea? Like, the obsession with centre backs. It's mad, isn't it? Like, them man.
We lost Christensen and Rudiger, didn't we?
Yeah, but I feel like we've got obviously Thiago obviously probably will be his last season. I'm guessing. I don't know how he's going to last another season. You got Koulibaly. I think that guy, that you've got is all right. What's his name? Chalobah. He doesn't get the. I don't think he gets the plaudits that people give him, man. He was solid against Chelsea. He was solid against Chelsea with that one. And if he's been solid
he's
for
basically
a while,
been our second best centre back this season.
Easy.
And we're about to send him out on loan. Like, his progressive play, his positional awareness has got a lot better. He hasn't put a foot wrong in the last 2 or 3 games. In spite of having a leaky-ass defence around him, he's looked like the veteran. He looked better than Koulibaly against Brentford. No one will say he looked better than Silva against Man United. Silva had a couple shaky moments, which is very rare for him. But Chalobah, he's been solid. And when Fofana comes back from injury, he can't get back into the lineup because Chalobah can't be getting benched. Even Koulibaly can't be getting benched. But yeah, I can't lie. It's 5:15. I got a dip anyway. But big up, everybody.
Yeah, man. Chelsea game, innit? Big up to you, bro. Love,
big
man.
up, everyone.
Hope you lose.
Big up to you. Yeah, man. Chelsea are playing later on in about half an hour. So big up to Lewis for coming on, man. But Premsy, man, Arsenal, man. There's this big Jesus debate, that's happening on the internet, and people are calling him like the glorified Lacazette and that, man. What's going on, man? It's a bit
nonsense,
of a mad one,
man. Absolute nonsense, bro. Like, the thing is, yeah, if he wasn't scoring goals and he wasn't getting himself in them positions and still hustling and bustling and playing other players into play, then I would look at it and think, oh, he definitely needs to pull his socks up. Don't get it twisted. We need to start killing teams off Said. When he's got the opportunity, the finishing's got to be clinical. In my preview, I said it, he needs to change his boots for Southampton. It looked like he didn't. He kept the same boots on in it. But he's still fresh to the team. He's still understanding the rest of the players around him. He's had a very good start to the season, but can't be throwing too much shade on Jesus right about now, bro. If it happens and it keeps going on and going on and going on, then you can look at it and think, right, okay, I think it's like 5 games he's not scored in now. But
yeah,
barring
I did
that,
take him out of my fantasy, man. I did take him out of my fantasy. You know what I mean? He's not giving me any points, but I feel like with Jesus, yeah, I think he's almost like the perfect striker. But then almost it's like he does everything but score goals in terms of what you want as a number 9, right? You are basically, you know what I mean, everyone relies on you to score goals. And I feel like now that it's drying up, people are starting to say, well, we don't want the hold-up play. We don't want this. We don't want everything that was good before. And I think maybe that's how fans are fickle, because he helps the team massively. And I think he helps the system massively. But then the end product, people are like, where's them goals?
Do you know what it is, though, Saeed, with it as well? Yeah. The one thing is, because there's not been so much going wrong at Arsenal of late, everyone's fast to jump on something as soon as something happens, isn't it? Because this is just football and this is what fans are on. But the thing is, the true Arsenal fans, the proper Arsenal fans, everyone else can say what they want to say. But we watch our team in depth and we can see what Jesus offers to this team. He ain't no Lacazette, bro. He's 10 times better than Lacazette. But like I said, he has to start finishing his chances off. Earlier on in the season, he was creating and finishing chances off. So we can clearly see that it's there. You get me? It's just maybe he just needs to break that, get another goal, and then it's just going on from there. But other players need to take responsibility around him as well and finish off their chances when they've got them available. Because against Southampton, bro, like just touching on that game, First of all, I agree. We need to finish our chances. We can't leave it in the decision of the refs or anything like that. 100% with that. You get me? Yeah. Also, Southampton, you got to give massive credit to Southampton. They came out in the second half. They made it difficult for us. They went to a back 5 and it was very hard to break them down. So I give them massive credit. But that Robert Jones, bro, that referee, fam.
Yeah. He was shocking,
man's getting headbutted. Man's getting punched in the back. You get me? Jesus rugby tackle in the box. We've seen it with the Chelsea game with McTominay. And the thing is with McTominay, my man's coming on a corner. He's on the side of him. Bro,
this guy just properly.
This guy just fully went in the back of him. For me, that's a red card. And it's also a penalty in it. But obviously, I don't want to dwell on it too much. We still got to point out the game. Best parts of the last few seasons, we probably would have lost that game. We're still 2 points clear. Still 2 points clear at the top. Obviously, Man City being the only team that really won around the top 6. So it's not really had too much of a detriment with all the rest of the teams, yourself and Chelsea dropping points, Tottenham getting beat again. You get me a second game in a row now. They've been beat. So we just move on to the next one, man. We don't want to let any of the Arsenal fans and players drop their head. You get me? Keep pushing, keep going. Don't listen to fucking anything, because right about now, we're in a good place. You get me? Even though we've drew that game, let's stick with the positivity, man.
Yeah, perspective, man. I think for me, you know what I mean? I still think Arsenal fans will still be happy with getting top 4 and possibly winning a trophy. I think that was probably the aim at the start of the season. Yeah. This is probably added bonus, and this is probably you're overachieving. You know what I mean? It's just one of them situations where, you're never going to get that feeling probably in a while again that, you're going to be in a title race. So it's like, it's a good feeling to have while you're in it. I just feel like with Arsenal, this game here, it still was one of them kind of games where if you're gonna win a title, you have to go and win them kind of games. But at the same time, you're not gonna go win this title. Man City are gonna go find their rhythm. It's just a matter of time. And I think for me, this game here though, did it highlight as well the lack of depth as well, maybe for Arsenal, or is it because as well he plays a lot of big guns in the Europa League, as well, and sometimes they don't get the same rest. Do the players look a bit tired to you, or is that just more excuses?
Do you know what? Yeah, there's 100% a depth problem, you get me? Because obviously we've got Emil Smith-Rowe out as well, who can come on and affect the game in a positive way. I think Fabio Vieira, we've seen glimpses of brilliance from him, but looks like he needs to hit that gym, and get a little bit bigger and physically stronger for this league, because it is a difficult league, you get me? And my man looks like he get blown over one time. So, I said, Thomas Partey, that second half, Thomas Partey didn't really have a great game. Who we really going to bring on to replace him? That's that quality. Lokonga ain't that quality, you get me? You look at Jesus, something I've been crying out for, Saeed. I've been speaking to you about it before we kick the season off, bro. We need 2 players. For me, I was saying we need a striker and we need another centre defensive mid. Everybody else was saying, no, we need a winger. But an Ivan Toney, for me, somebody of that mould that could come on when teams are dropping in that low block. A lot of players are going to be after him.
You know what? There's a lot of teams that are going to be after Ivan Toney, Like, I think United probably would be after him. You know what? Even when I look at Chelsea, man, I know they got Aubameyang and that, but sooner or later they get. Yes, I think Aubameyang.
His heart's not there, man. He just went there for the bees.
Well, this is it, man. You know what I mean? It's one of the situations with Aubameyang. You've got he needs creativity, and the minute at Chelsea, there's a lack of that, man. They're still trying to find out what they're trying to do. I think with Aubameyang, it's not the long term, you know what I mean, approach. I think this guy here, Ivan Toney, though, he's the one, and I think a lot of teams will go after him. But then that means the price goes up, and it's 70, 80 million. When you guys is your priority a striker. For the manager,
for me though,
Said,
we have to for the team. We can see it clearly. Look, Jesus ain't firing like he is now. Yeah, we have to have that second option to come on. I know we got Eddie Nketiah, but he's quite the same kind of mold as Jesus as a player. You get me? We need a bit of a different option. And the thing is, we let Aubameyang and Lacazette go, so there is opportunity for another striker to definitely be in this team. Because for me, you have to have 3 strikers. Now we're leaving ourselves short. Last season we didn't have Europa League. We had no Europe. This season, we have got the Europa League. Whether the Eddie Nketiah is going to come on and fill that position up front, that's another question. Because of late, he's been coming on to the left-hand side. So there is plenty of room. And if we are going to try to be serious about if we're in the same position, say come January, and we want to push for that title, we definitely got to be recruiting better. Now, with the Ivan Toney situation, it is a bit of a sticky one now because, like you said, people want him. The price is going to be ridiculous. Say he gets picked for England in the World Cup and he goes to the World Cup and bangs there. Bro, it's a different situation. English tax.
100%.
It's a madness. So really, I think a lot of teams missed the trick with him, especially us, man. We should have definitely signed a player like him.
Yeah, no, I think for me, it's... But I just feel like with Brentford, I don't think they'll sell him in January. It have to be a summer thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them situations where, you know, Ivan Toney... I'm not too sure. Right now in January we can go and get him. Someone saying good evening, man. Like Unai Emery,
back.
You know Unai Emery. Go on.
People need to not take the piss out of him this time round. You get me? Because I thought it was bare shady, man. You get me? Especially the media as well. The media were big advocates for taking the piss out of him. I'm telling you now for a fact. But he's a good manager, man. Trust me, he'll do good at Aston Villa.
You know what? I think it's the only thing I've got with him though is Aston Villa. They're going to be patient with his style of play. It's not the most amazing style of football. It's very, very pragmatic. It's, you know, sometimes he has 2 low blocks of 4 and then he's got 2 attackers and then that's it. You know what I mean? It's going to be a traditional 4-4-2. That's what he played with at Villarreal. So
I think it's a different league though. He played with more of a 4-4-3 with us. Sometimes dropped to a back 5 as well at times. So we can change it up a little bit with Unai Emery. The one thing about him as well, when he came to Arsenal, he went on like a 22-match unbeaten run. So he has got them kind of streaks in his locker where
that's crazy, isn't it?
If he can get these players all like singing off the same hymn sheet at Aston Villa, then I don't think it's going to be a bad move for them. I feel like Steven Gerrard taking the captaincy off Tyrone Mings, giving it to McGinn, I think that kind of caused a little bit of disruption in the change room and between the players. And I don't think they were playing for Steven Gerrard because you can clearly see, bro, the last game that they played, it was a madness. What, 4-0 or something like that? Mad.
Yeah. 4-0 madness, man. I just feel like with Emery, I think people still got to respect his trophy record as well in terms of how many trophies he's won. It's crazy to think the amount of European trophies he's won. Obviously, called Sevilla, Villarreal. I think it was their first, you know, kind of trophy in their history. I think it was, or something like that. So I think Emery will do well, but it's just about, again, Villa fans and English fans need to be patient about how, you know, how philosophies and how they work, but they don't happen overnight. He needs to bring his players in. He needs to bring a whole summer camp. He needs to have time, man. So good things come to those who wait, man. I think Villa fans just relax. But in terms of Tottenham fans, they're not relaxed at the minute. Obviously, we would have liked to hear Patrick what he's saying here, but man, like Antonio Conte, man, chat, because I'm a big fan of Conte.
Same here, bro. I'm a big fan.
But I feel like for me, I'm struggling not to defend him, but I feel like it's one of them where they've just got to wait until... I can't really say much until he wins that trophy. But is it the history of the Tottenham? Is it just the fact that Tottenham fans want Pochettino back and they're not asked about certain things? I don't know what Tottenham fans want. And this is the craziest thing about it. They're saying they want better football, but then they haven't won a trophy in so many years. They've got a manager who's got a track record of delivering trophies. And it's almost as if they want the whole world right now. They want so many toys But it's as if right now they're just like, I don't want this suffering now. I just want to go and get Pochettino. Let me make me feel better by just giving me Pochettino. Give me that blanket of Pochettino. And I'm like, bro, like you've had Pochettino. It's not worked out. Yes, you've had a few memories and like here and there, Champions League and whatnot, and the final. But come on, man,
Do you know what it is with Tottenham? Do you know what it is as well? It's a bit of a strange one because if you probably said to most Tottenham fans, you'll be sitting third in the league right about now, I guarantee they probably would have took that. You get me? Because people 100%. Didn't really think of the drop-off Liverpool were going to have. The thing is with them, it's the style of football that's quite boring to watch. You get me? And it's not quite boring. It's very boring to watch. Like against United, they got absolutely peppered. Do you know what I mean? They were just literally sitting on the edge of their own box. However, has Conte had enough time and had enough windows to really get all the players he wants that he can trust to then give them a bit of license to go forward? Because before that United game, it was pretty strange because I've seen a little bit more expansion from Tottenham and they were coming out and playing a little bit better. But whether it's the players that he's got in the squad, whether they're good enough, whether he needs a few more windows to then really put his imprint on the team, that's something we're going to have to wait and see because we all know Conte's style of football. He always builds from the back. You get me? He's always that kind of manager that wants a solid back. However, players also play a part in that as well because I believe that a lot of the players that Tottenham got, I wouldn't take them in my team. Do you know what I mean? And if I wouldn't do that, then
is their squad even all right? Is their squad, when you look at their squad here, I don't think it's the best squad in the world. Like, I'll be honest with you, their squad isn't that great. Like, when you look at their bench, it's not great. Harry Kane, Son, okay. You've got good players there. Højbjerg, I think, is very, very good. I think he's a decent player, sorry. Bentancur, for decent player as well. Have they got that kind of upper echelons? I'm not sure. You're looking at their wing backs. Perisic getting on now. So again, we're not going to see the best of Perisic. Right wing back. They've not played Jet Spence. The centre backs are not great. You know what I mean? Dyer. There's always been that question mark for me, Dyer. Is he really going to be the centre back that you want at your club long term wise? Not for me. Romero, I'm sorry, he's had a good start to his career, but I don't think still the hype is justified. I want to see more.
Look at Lloris. Look at Lloris. He's making mistakes on a regular basis now. You know what I mean? That was an absolute joke what he did for that first goal against Newcastle. Like that, if my keeper did that, bro, I'd be vexed.
They've not moved him on. Spurs should get Gerrard, said Zane. When Conte goes, Saliba is the best centre back in the world. Nah, I'm not so sure.
In the league.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's up there definitely right this season so far. You can't really argue with that, I don't think.
Yeah. So basically, in terms, Bentancur is quality. Don't get me wrong, but Bentancur, would you be like, you know what, Bentancur is going to be the one that will take us to the next step? Are you looking at Bentancur thinking, right? Or are you thinking he's someone that can maybe help the team in terms of the squad and whatnot? Like, are they going to the next level? Because I'm thinking...
Do you know what it is, Saeed? Big man thing. They need some creative players in there.
That's what
if you
saying.
Look in their midfield, what creative midfielder have they got that you could say, oh, I'll have it in my team. You get me? You've got a Kane, you've got a Son up front. You get me? And they're very effective players. You get me? They will actually win your games when you need to get one. Now, the one thing about Antonio Conte is that he always loves playing with his wing backs. We're seeing it time and time again. We're seeing it with Victor Moses, seeing it with Hakimi. We're seeing it. You get me? These wing backs, like you just touched on, they ain't good enough really right about now. You've got an aging Perisic, who isn't really nothing fantastic. You've also got Emerson Royale. You got Doherty. You got Jed Spence that people haven't really seen much about. And to be fair, I was quite impressed that Tottenham signed him because last season he looked like a real talent. But until he gets a few players in, then we're going to start seeing probably the best of Conte maybe in a year or so. But will Tottenham fans wait? Because I've been hearing Man on Talk Sport going sick right about now, fam. I'm telling you now, these Tottenham fans ain't happy.
With this top four race with Tottenham, is there a thing for you where if they're relying on Harry Kane and obviously the football that they're playing, is there a chance for you that this top four for them, it could slip away from them in terms of, because obviously right now you got United and Chelsea chasing them. You got Newcastle already in there now because they're so heavily reliant on Harry Kane. And this is for a team that doesn't play the best football to then rely on Harry Kane. It's a lot of I want to say problems, but you know what I mean? For Tottenham fans, you're going to suffer a lot. You're going to have to suffer a lot because Kane is their sole creativity. Kane is their most where the source of the goals come from. So it's a lot of revolve around Kane, and it's like, bro, as soon as if Kane gets injured, it's finished for them. Like, seriously.
I agree 100%, bro. Like, if we just touch on that Tottenham game with Manchester United, big up to Martinez for the job that he done on Harry Kane, because he literally nullified him out of that whole game. And without that, and he did it to such effect that, bro, Tottenham didn't have nothing else about him. Because the one thing Harry Kane is brilliant at is dropping into midfield, picking the ball up, bringing other players into play, getting himself back into the box. If other teams come against Tottenham and they just stick that one player on Harry Kane, they're going to start finding more problems. And to be fair, I'm not surprised that they got beat by Newcastle as well, because against United, they were dreadful. What it is, though, with Spurs, is Daniel Levy going to be backing Conte the way he needs to be backed? That is the big question that you need to ask, because if he's not, then you'll probably see Conte walk himself, because I don't think he's going to want to tarnish his reputation.
Yeah.
Whether he'll drop out the top four, that's another situation. We've got to see what they do in January, but it's a big possibility that they can drop out the top four. Nothing's given in this league. You know what I mean? Like you said, United have found a bit of form. Chelsea, up until the draw against you, I think they had like 5 clean sheets on the bounce or something, which is difficult to do. You know what I mean? So will they drop out? For me, I hope they drop out. You get me? I pray they drop out. But I think Antonio Conte's level of managing experience is a high one. And we've seen Tottenham this season winning games that they shouldn't really be winning. You get me? Grinding out them results. So if they can carry on doing that, then who knows, my brother?
I think you know, the key thing for Tottenham is that what they do well is they're grinding out results. And I feel like, you know, other teams might not do that. Like maybe with United against Newcastle, you know what I mean? I'm not saying the same team, but there's certain other games where we might not grind it out because we might be lacking that certain efficiency, whereas Tottenham might have that over us, whereas we'll be more fluid and we might not be efficient. Whereas Tottenham might not play the best football, but then they'll be efficient. So it's one of them situations. But in terms of United, I can't complain right in a minute. I think we're playing good football. I think we're doing a lot of things right. You know what I mean? My only question is, again, is the depth. But a lot of teams right now, it's the depth and it's the injuries and managing them as well. So we're all in the same boat. But I think Ten Hag right now is slowly cooking, and a lot of people are not seeing it. And maybe a lot of people are not looking at what United have done in terms of the improvement. You can see there's a style of football. A lot of people thought it was boring at the start, but he had to slowly implement his style of football, and it was going to take time. Now you're starting to see what we're trying to do. And for me, we dominated Chelsea. We should have got the result. But this top 4 race now is an interesting one. And I think it is believable. I said it from the start. I think we can get top 4. So, and I think it is believable. Now, Chelsea, I think watch out for Chelsea, you know, in terms of Graham Potter, you know what I mean, having this season to work out a lot of stuff and a lot of dynamics in this team. Because right now, it's not as if he's struggling, but they've looked a bit shaky last couple of games. And I think he's trying to understand which player fits where or which player fits there. So, this top 4 race right now, I can't lie to you, it's interesting. And you got Newcastle in there. Newcastle all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It's mad. Like when you
know what, we said it on this show a few weeks back as well. Somebody asked who do you reckon will be an outside contender, and I said Newcastle as well, because right now, since they've got that money in, the recruitment that they've made has been very smart. The money that they've spent, I would say, has been wise. The manager that they brought in a proper coaching manager who knows how to develop players and understands the system of play. We've seen it at Bournemouth. And you got to take your hat off to Newcastle. But just touching back onto United, bro, because I was one of them to think, right, United, they ain't finishing in the top 4. No way. I doubted you in the top 6, to be honest with you, bro. I was thinking 7, 8. But Ten Hag has clearly come in and he has definitely livened things up. I think with you guys as well, he's got to be a little bit more patient as well, because you are going to get times in the season where you're going to have a poor result. You're going to get beat. You get me? And then you don't want to start going into a turmoil. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because it's his first season, innit? You get me? But a lot of the Arsenal fans, we start going to turmoil when it's like the second season, innit? And we're thinking, right, there's no progression here, this, that, the other. But with Ten Hag, I think it's going to be a bit too early to jump on the hype in it with him. I think what he has implemented in that team so far has been really good. I think dropping Ronaldo, my first opinion was have Ronaldo in the team. But after his antics and the way he's been behaving, absolute disgrace, you get me? You can't be walking off the pitch and that and not bigging up your boys and that after you've just had the best performance of your season. Disgraceful. But it takes some balls to do that, and he's done it. So you got to give him credit. I think he's got to find out another situation for the Sancho bit, because I think Sancho's looking dead, bro. Absolutely dead. That's my personal opinion. You get me? I think Anthony is going to have to work on him a little bit more and try to tell the guy, you'll use your right foot in it. Like, you've got a right foot, just use it. You get me? Because if you watch Anthony, he's a good player. He's got a very good shot on him. But as soon as you get him on that right side, bro, he's not knocking the ball with his right foot and running past anybody. That is not happening.
But he's so clever getting onto his left foot. He's so clever. It's like you can do it, but you can't stop him. And this is the thing: you can try to stop him, but I don't think people have been successful.
Yeah, but you'll get unstuck. You'll get unstuck further along in the season when people suss you out and start analysing you properly and stuff. Look at the Tomiyasu situation. Arteta pulled in Tomiyasu at left back against Liverpool. Get me? Because what's Salah on? You get me? Salah's more effective when he's cutting inside as well. He makes them runs. And Tomiyasu being a right-footed, he stopped it. But like I was saying with United, bro, got to give you guys big credit. You get me? I think that you will definitely be challenging for the top 4 now. Definitely, you get me? If you can carry on with the same momentum that you're going with.
Yeah, big up to Hit 44. He says, "Why do rivals rate Erik ten Hag more than Man United legends?" I'll be honest with you. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there was not a word said about Ole. You know what I mean? So what he can do, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, now Ten Hag's come in. It's like, it seems like everyone has an opinion of Ten Hag, and I'm just like, just leave him to it. Like, you finally got a manager who knows what they're doing. You finally got a manager who is don't want no leaks. You've got a finally manager who's filing people if they come late to training or whatever. You've got a manager now who actually knows what he's doing. So just give him the time. And I feel like for me, there's this Ronaldo situation now has just dragged on. And I'll be honest with you, I can't wait till it ends, man. I feel like for me, best for both parties to move on, Ronaldo to move on, and then we don't have no drama. Then we don't have any dramas of players doing this and doing that, and we can actually move forward now. Because with Ronaldo, he's got his whole entourage. You've got George Mendes, you've got people in the media, you've got this, you've got that. And it's like, it's so many people having an opinion about what Ronaldo feels like. He's meant to come out and say what he feels, and then we'll leave it as that. Not you. All of a sudden, everyone's a spokesman for Ronaldo. Like, I've never ever seen it. I've got about
it's ridiculous, bro. And even that apology that he came out to you fans and give, bro, that was disgraceful. You get me? He didn't even really apologize. You know what I'm saying? And it's quite surprising, because if he carries on the way he is, he's just only going to tarnish his reputation at United and his legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no way to go out. You get me? But the best thing for you guys to do, drop him, get him off. You get me? Go pack his bags, and drop him off at Sporting Lisbon or somewhere like that, bro. Because you get me? You could be getting games there, definitely.
With the Aubameyang thing, you know, big up to Hit 44. Follow Premsy Proper Ghoulie. Yeah, man. Come on. Always, man. Make sure you go follow his channel, Premsy TV. With the Aubameyang situation, so could you explain in terms of how long was he in contract for? How long was left on his contract?
But I think it's about 2 years, another 2 years. Obviously, he signed. Maybe it could have been 2.5 years. But he was just...
who released his contract? Was it a case of he released his own contract, or Arsenal terminated his contract?
No, what kind of happened is Barcelona and Arsenal kind of made a bit of an agreement where they would take on his wages and sign him officially and not take it on a loan, and Arsenal would just write it off to him. You get me? Because Arsenal wanted to take the wages off the books, and I think we saved roughly about like 27 million, or maybe might be wrong, but something along them lines. And we saved quite a big, significant amount of money on his wages, which has got reinvested back into the team. You get me? And now you look at Jesus and players like that; they're not on the money of Aubameyang, but yet we're getting a lot more efficiency out of these kind of guys. So Aubameyang at Chelsea, bro, like I just touched on before, he don't want to be there, bro. The guy's rolling around with an Arsenal tattoo on his arm, you get me? He definitely don't want to be there. He's just going there for the money and obviously the London lifestyle. He left London, went back to Barcelona, probably didn't receive half of the love that he did get in from like he did in London, come back to Chelsea, but now he's realising small club, you get me? Ain't like Arsenal, you get me? It's not like Arsenal, different thing.
Yeah. But you know what it is, though? It's the same principle, isn't it, though? The manager took control of the situation. The only situation that's different is that a club came forward for Aubameyang. No club has come forward for Ronaldo. And this is what a lot of fans don't understand, was like, why do you just, kind of let him go in the summer, or let him go, etc., etc. And I'm like, but the problem is, though, people, nobody's coming in for Ronaldo. Nobody wants to break the bank and then have a Ronaldo situation where then you've got the media spotlight. Ronaldo's not starting. The manager's this, the manager's that. Then the manager gets sacked for not starting him. And then it's a case of It's a whole circus around.
How
Ronaldo.
long's he got on his contract with you guys now?
He's got 1 more year, but then it's got.
Why not just pay him off?
But this is it. But then United need to make the decision: pay him off. I don't have any problems, or don't
pay him off and let him go and sign on, fam.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I said, he doesn't want to do. He's not daft in it. He's on a 5. I don't know if he's been reduced because of his Champions League. We're not in the Champions League, but he's on a big bumper wage here. Why would he want to pay his contract out when he knows when United will probably do it when he annoys them? Innit? If he keeps annoying them, then he'll go into their hands and they'll write his contract. If not, he'll stay and he'll play football. It's still, you know.
But you know what though? This situation with Ronaldo is not going to help any of the players there. You get me? It's not going to help the morale of the team. It's not going to help the atmosphere around. You got some fucking big man sitting there sobbing around and that. You get me? When the guy's pretty much won everything in the game, it's a bit of a madness. It's a bit of a dampener. So as a club, maybe they just got to look at it and think, Ras, we got to take one for the team here. You get me? Literally take one for the team, pay him off, get him out the club, and we can move forward in it. You get me? Obviously, personally, I still think if United plays in certain games, he's got a lot to offer. I don't think he's fully dead in the water, but his attitude and behaviour, bro, it's just dampened absolutely everything. You cannot run like that at all. And with you guys as well, you need to get like a director of football into play that can make these kind of decisions properly. You know what I'm saying? A proper footballing man.
Apparently, we're after Michael Edwards from Liverpool, but I don't know if it's been actual agreed or anything like that. But apparently, we're going in for Michael Edwards, and for me, Michael Edwards, what he's done at Liverpool in terms of like getting the likes of Salah, Sadio Mane, the recruitment that he's done at Liverpool. Remember when he took? Obviously, they sold Coutinho, but then the money that they got from it, they reinvested it, and then they bought Virgil van Dijk, Alisson. So this guy's got a big track record. So I can't lie to you. If we go and get him, but apparently what they're saying is that they're not looking for a player, a guy like that, because we've got John Myrtle. Well, I'm sorry, I'd rather go and get a Michael Edwards and sack off John Myrtle, or give John Myrtle another role, because at the end of the day, he's been proven not to be good enough for this job. So. And again, it said here, Edwards won't join a board who restrict. Well, there you go, then, isn't it? This is the situation then. This is why we're so glazed out then, because.
But it's mad though, because with United, they spend peas though, innit? United actually do spend money in it. It's not like.
But not in the right way though. And now you have a guy who's a strategist.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, I don't think he'll be restricted because of the financial power United do have. You get me? It's just how you spend that money over years. It's not just with yous, bro. Same with Arsenal. We've not spent our money well enough. You get me? Only over the last few seasons, we started to sign smartly. Players that we didn't think are going to come good have come good. Players like Ramsdale, Ben White, Tommy Yasu's. These ain't world star names, but we've actually did our job, done the scouting, seen what's going to fit the system and what the manager wants. They've gone out, they've sealed the deal, and now you can see the benefits of that. I'm surprised at United as well, because when there's players like Bruno Guimaraes and stuff like that knocking around, you never really hear United interested in them. You always hear United interested in the Frankie de Jongs and these players and that player. You get me?
Of course.
But use man, the way you're carrying on from the board, not the players, because I think the manager and the players have stepped it up a little bit. But from the board, it's not no signs of going to be long progression if they carry on the way they are. Maybe you might win a couple cups here and there. But is that really what United want to be and where they want to be? I don't think so.
Yeah, 100%. But on the other side, also that they've got. But you know what it is also? It's mad that apparently even Edu now has been touted by different clubs, but Arsenal are keen to hold on to him. It's mad how there was all this thing of Conte out, Edu out, and all this situation now. And all of a sudden, they've turned it around. They've given Arteta time. They've sorted out the recruitment team, and they have got it right. And this is why I think, for me, I'm not saying Kroenke this and that, and you know what, he's a good owner, etc., etc. But all I'm saying to you is, though, at least he's got people who are footballing men in positions, and he's actually gone and sorted out the certain, like Edu and certain other people who were on your board. At least he's sorted that out, and I think that's halfway of the job. If you can't do it, at least get people who can do it, and Edu and them man have actually done.
Do you know what it is though? I think his hand kind of got forced as well, because you can't be having Arsenal finishing 8th twice in a row.
Yeah,
that's just a mad thing. You get me, bro? Because then your return on your investment when you do want to come to sell the club as well, you keep falling and falling. is not really a good business move, is it? So he's had to kind of look at it and think, you know what, I'm gonna have to invest in this team now a little bit. And maybe Arteta, maybe you got to give him some credit and say that he might have had a word with him and been very assertive with him. You get me? And kind of stuck it on him. Maybe other managers, Unai Emery, Freddie Ljungberg, and Wenger are not them kind of people to go and stick it on a man like that. You get me?
Yeah.
However, we just right about now, bro. Like I said, is the one thing I'm not is patient. You get me, bro? And I'm over this start of this season, bro. I've learned to think, you know what, hang fire, Premsy, be a little bit patient because you know where man's head was at. You get me, bro? If man ain't performing, bro, I'm looking to chop everybody and anyone because you've seen at times with Chelsea, man. Look how successful Chelsea have been in recent years with the trophies that they've won. Yeah. And what have they been doing? Taking man's heads off left, right, and centre. But it doesn't work for everybody in it. I think with Arsenal and United, we're clubs of good history and we've always been a classy club. We do normally give managers time and try to run differently in it. But it's one of them, man. We just got to just keep moving and keep pushing forward. But I'm happy with where Arsenal are at the moment, bro. You get me? If you're an Arsenal fan and you're not, bro, you need to give your head a wobble, fam.
Yeah, you know what it is? I feel like with Arsenal at the minute, like I said, they're overachieving. They're doing their thing. And I think it'll just come down to the fact that this winter period now, when the World Cup is on, you see how teams manage their squads, and if they buy players in the January, who would you say if you had to pick positions what you need and who would you go for? What type of profile of players would you want?
Is this me dreaming or is this me just acting realistically?
Be realistic. Be realistic.
You know what? I think we most definitely need to get a centre defensive midfielder. Most definitely. Now, obviously, the latest one is Douglas Luiz. That's somebody that
he's signed a new deal, isn't it? He's weird.
What's
he doing?
Yeah, I didn't even know that. No way.
Yeah, he signed a new deal with Aston Villa.
Do you know what it is? This Villa's being smart, though, isn't it? Yeah,
it kind of makes sense business because now he's gone. The manager's gone, Steven Gerrard, so he doesn't have to at least worry about that. Because a lot of people are going at him saying, "Oh, how can you sign a deal with Steven Gerrard and what's this guy not going to ambition?" But now you play for Unai Emery. It's a bit respectable now to play under Unai Emery than Steven Gerrard. So
yeah, you know if Unai Emery's got anything to do with it, the way we sacked him, bro, he ain't looking to give us nobody, fam.
You go then.
You know what I'm saying? So, but obviously, if I can't really think of a player to mind right now, but I would definitely go in for a centre defensive midfielder. And I know this might sound crazy, but I'd take a Mitrovic as well if we can't get an Ivan Toney, bro.
How is that crazy, bro? Mitrovic deserves his praise, man.
Because it's obviously the way Arsenal are playing with like the buying younger players and stuff like that. You can't really see that kind of mold. But I do believe we do need a bit of experience in the team as well to help these younger lads get up and on. And Mitrovic,
get Willian back, man. He's firing at the minute for
yo, bro, use man up Willian now. You get me? You know what I'm trying to say? Fuck Willian.
But I can't believe he's at Fulham. You know, like who would have thought he went to Brazil and then came back and then Fulham wanted him. But it just shows you, innit? Like he's still got. He's
come back to look after his restaurant in London, innit, with David Luiz. That's what he's on.
Oh yeah. Seriously, I forgot about that. Savic as well for United. If I was to say that what we need at the minute,
bro, we've not even touched on Liverpool, fam. Fucking hell.
Yeah, bro. Bro, what can you say about them? They're fucked, man. They're finished, man. See, Grizz is all messed up and that. Liverpool, I told you, man. I think there's a chance that Liverpool don't make top 4. And a lot of people can say, "Oh, Saeed, they're going to come back up," but I still think there's going to be more problems before they find solutions. You know when they say,
they have not recruited well enough. No,
they've not recruited well, and I feel like for me, they've not built for this team. They're not built for the next manager. And people can say, "Okay, FSG and whatnot," but etc. But if they can't do what City do, and if they can't do that, then what? If you look at their squad, I think you got Thiago 31, Fabinho 29, but plays like he's 39. Jordan Henderson 32,
31.
Who else is out there? Robertson 28.
Van Dijk, Milner, 31. Man, like about 45, bro.
45. Alisson 30. Matic 31. Yes, they've got Konate in there. Okay, you're looking at the right hand side. Mo Salah 31. Firmino 30. Okay, Diaz is fairly young. Lules fairly young.
Do you reckon they've lost the pace in their legs because of the intensity that they've been going with Man City for a number of years? Do you reckon these players have kind of gone older before the time because of the intensity of the game as well?
Yeah,
because you got to give them credit, bro. Over the last 4,
of course,
barring when they won the league and then they dropped, like, just managed to scrape top 4. But barring that season, they've been very, very competitive with City.
Ten Hag said, "Eras come to an end."
Yeah. Your one ain't coming that soon, fam. Don't you worry about that. You man got to wait at least another 3-4 years.
He goes here. What did he say here? I'm gonna bring up the quotes here. He said, "Eras come to an end." That's what he said. Can you believe that? Look, he said here, "Admire both City and Liverpool. They play both fantastic football, but you will see an era come to an end." He said, but you will see an era come to an end. So maybe
you know what? He's bang on though, innit? Because football works in cycles, innit? Like, no matter what, if you've been following football since you were born, you will see that it works in cycles. You get me? Before Mum was born, you had people like fucking Liverpool smacking it up and all of that. But then you had Arsenal's, United, Chelsea came into it. Now, obviously, City been dominating over the last 10 years, more or less. Well, maybe 12 years, but it does work in cycles. And wise words, fam, because it looks like Liverpool's era is dropping real quick, fam.
You know what I mean? And like I said, this is a time for Newcastle to come forward. Even like, you know, people say Man United should have been it, but we've been out of the cold for 10 years. United almost like they're almost like reprogramming. Arsenal started to reprogram. This is time for Arsenal, you know, these kind of clubs to say, you know what, man, step up now and take this position. Like, don't feel like you have to feel sorry for yourself. Like, United and Arsenal need to go in there, step up, bro.
Do you know what it is, Saeed? See, Arsenal and United, we're very, very old institutions. You get me? We've got a lot of history behind us, and we're very old-fashioned clubs in certain senses. And I think other teams were moving with the times when we kind of stopped, really, and we weren't really moving with the times. We just thought we know it all. We know how to continue and get to the highest level without moving with the times. And now you can clearly see Arsenal have definitely moved in with the times now, starting to play out, you know, from the back with a different kind of keeper, a bit more of a sweeper keeper, bring the young players back into the team where we were buying fucking players over 30, like Willians, David Luiz's, all of these, man, you get me? So we are moving with the times. And now Ten Hag, he's that kind of manager for you that you can see at Ajax. He likes playing with young, I was going to say, he likes working with young players, you get me? And it's a mad thing. So you can see that you as well change. I think the problem with you is David De Gea, and I know a lot of United fans might disagree with me, but I think the guy's been there for so long now, you need to change him, you get me? I think I don't know if it was one of my mates put a good point to me. He goes, David De Gea is a very, very good shot stopper. You get me? And the reason why he makes loads of saves is because he doesn't put himself in the position to block them shots or to stop them shots from coming in, where he's not really a sweeper keeper. And I think with United,
he's improving though. He's improving though.
You need, at this day and age, you need a keeper that can just literally play with his feet, handle the pressure, come for corners without a doubt. You get me? Not like Lloris.
I still think the idea of a modern day keeper gets overstated. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a keeper, I still think David De Gea is a better keeper than Ramsdale. But I think Ramsdale's got more modern attributes than David De Gea. And this is the situation. And
if you're saying shot stopper, I would say, yeah, David De Gea is a very good shot stopper. But then you got to look at the context of his shot stopping as well. He saves a lot of shit with his feet, which then goes back into the box and can cause problems again. You get me? Like with Ramsdale, he's a very good kicker. He comes, he commands his box.
Has Ramsdale got star qualities though, in terms of being a keeper? Being a keeper though. I know he does the kicking and whatnot distribution. Bro, that's added attributes, but it doesn't a keeper. Is he a better keeper than David De Gea? Do you think so?
At the moment, all round, I would say he is. I'm not, and that's not me being biased. I'm saying, look, if you listen to me, like I said, De Gea has been one of the best keepers knocking around for a number of years now, you get me? But with De Gea, you've got to have more to your game now than just saving shots, you get me? Because if you look at Alisson and Mo Salah, when he put the ball over the top, he got honest. I think Alisson's got the same amount of assists as Sancho was in the time he's been at United, bro.
Listen, you get me, bro? Sancho's
praise, man. What I'm trying to say is it does have an impact. You get me? With United play with fast-paced strikers up front. You get me? Why can't you have a keeper that can pick them out? De Gea ain't that guy at all, bro. And for example, United on corners and that, De Gea ain't that guy to come and grab the ball. You get me? Ain't that guy to come and claim it. Where even with his shot stopping, like I said, he uses his feet hell of a lot. You get me? That's dangerous in this day and age now. So he's an old school keeper in a new time for me. I'm not taking nothing away from him, top keeper, but for me, Ramsdale, hands down, better. The energy that he creates with the fans, you know what I mean? The leader that he shows that he is on the pitch as well, man. You got to take all of that into account, man. Obviously, De Gea's
100%.
over the years was better, but right now, Ramsdale for me.
Yeah, 100%, man. But in terms of you guys, Europa League, you guys are done in it, Europa League, in terms of qualified. So you can actually rest players now. You know what I mean? So you guys are qualified, aren't you? Obviously,
we need a point. We need a point in it. I think.
No, you've qualified, but you need
to win the group. Yeah.
Okay.
We just need to top that shit. You get me? I'm not looking to finish second. You get me? And play some daft ass games. I need to win the group and just keep going. Obviously, we do need rotation in the squad, and we do in the Europa League. We have seen rotation. Obviously, it's not the end of the world if we lose the game because we've got another game against Norwich after that as well. You get me? So
yeah.
It's not the end of the world, but we definitely need to see a bounce back.
Away to PSV.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I think PSV though, they disappointed me, man. I think that game was so dry, man. So I'm not sure, like, you know what I mean? It just depends on what they do if they try and go for it, because they need to go through in it. So they need to get the ideas up in it. So
is De Gea number one for Spain?
No, he's Simon.
Yeah.
But Ramsdale's not even number one. Is he even number two, number three? But what is he?
Of course, he's number two. He should be number one keeper. That's not even no bias in there. I think Pickford's too reckless, man.
I think for me, it's Nick Pope's England's best keeper. Nick Pope.
Nah, that's your United hatred for Arsenal.
I'm not. I genuinely just mean it. Honestly, bro, I think Nick Pope is clear. If the people saying Henderson, I'm not really a fan of Henderson, to be honest with you, but a lot of people are. You know what I mean?
I don't mind him. I think he's a good keeper and it's not that bad. But I think what Ramsdale's doing right about now, like just in the way that he galvanizes everybody, he's a very good shot stopper. He might make it look even better than what it is, but it is what it is, isn't it? He makes them saves. He's good at distribution. Bro, Ramsdale for me, man, he'll give real character to that England team if he was starting.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, 100%, man. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Sorry, there wasn't Lewis can only be feeling.
Man, we're running scared today, fam.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, normally we have Patrick in the building, but listen, people, and also there's a Chelsea games on as well, so we had to just cram in the content, people. So apologies if the quality of the show wasn't good, but big up to Premsy as always. Big up to you for coming on. Let them know where they
appreciate it, man. Premsy TV on YouTube. You'll catch me on AFTV as well at times, and also on Instagram, Premsy_AFC people. Big up to the chat. Good chat as well, man. So enough love.
Big up to you, man. Love to everybody. Tomorrow, I'll be back for Man Them Talk, people. United show. So come check us out there. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we'll be live. And yeah, man, enjoy the rest of your evening. Champions League's on tonight, so go watch that. And yeah, man, love people. Take